We're live for the last time.
Boo hiss.
Boo.
Boo diddly hiss. Yeah.
Not that any of you care, because only about 3 people watch this regularly anyway. So
We
But
tried.
those 3 people will be annoyed.
I consider it's us.
I had a couple of people kind of mention something, but nothing, you know. And then we found somebody who watches regularly and really enjoys it, and it's like, well, where have you been for the last 6 months? You know.
I'd like, the guy's name, Tom Mannington. See, he's a jinx. He's an absolute jinx, because he was one of our biggest fans of my old hockey podcast that me and someone else was doing, and we had to quit that because lives got in the way.
Right.
So if he listens to my podcast for the next one, I might actually have to say just to do one, because he's a jinx.
or it might be you that's the jinx.
It could be me.
It could be you, yes.
Probably is me.
Oh dear.
But yeah, no, it's been good, gents.
I've enjoyed it. I've really
Enjoyed
enjoyed it. It's surprisingly difficult to do something like this.
Yeah.
Because, you know, people go, if you've got some recording software and you can talk about video games, it's easy. It's fucking not. It's fucking not. Because one, trying to get people to listen is a fucking nightmare, because people are so inundated with information and things. And because time, as you get older, just contracts and you can't get enough time to do anything ever, you kind of go, it took me by surprise. It absolutely did, because I thought, you know, we're all friends, we're all like-minded people, we can all find something to talk about, and we generally did find something to talk about. Staying on topic, we rarely did, but like, it's just you know, you can take an horse to water, but you can't make it fucking care.
No,
So,
see that's the
And
thing.
no one took the horse to the water either.
Well,
It just posted on Facebook, there's some water over there, horse. And then Facebook only showed it to one horse. And that horse just didn't give a fuck.
No, but the problem is, and I don't want to complain about it, because this hour and a half or whatever we do this, I love this. This is just a great time to talk video games with mates, and I love doing this.
yeah.
It's the next 6 days that becomes a bit soul destroying. Because obviously the next morning I have to download the YouTube version of it as just an MP3 and put that out as a podcast itself, and then put that into a post on the site, do a bit of posting on social networks, and I love doing it. I don't mind doing it, but it becomes a bit of a burden, especially when you see we had one week where we had a great week, and I'm not on about the Cole Bosman week either. We done him too early. We really did bring Cole Bosman in too early, but we had another about a 2-week period where we got quite a lot of listeners, and it's like, oh, we're getting momentum, and then the following week we was in single figures, and it was just like, I don't know why is that? And when it comes to the next week, you're just like, well, why am I bothering with all this bit when we've got like 9 people have watched the YouTube stream and not many have listened to it on iTunes, and it's like, it becomes soul destroying to keep that going. And I think the case of doing it live adds a lot of pressure, because we set ourselves up, you know, every Wednesday at 9. If something happens, case in point, last weekend when my partner got mauled by a wild tiger, it was a little kitten, and it was our cat as well. It was our cat.
I didn't know that bit of the story. I thought it was a wild cat.
No, she was
or at least a neighbour's cat.
No, well, it kind of was, because what it is, with this new neighbour's moved in upstairs, she's a drug-addled freak. She's not listening to this show, it doesn't matter.
She might be our other viewer. Hi, upstairs, hi!
But she's not giving us feedback, so fuck her. Anyway, her cat that's just moved in is massive. I mean, it is this massive black and white cat, and it could be mistaken for a panther. It's that bloody big.
Right.
And it's been bullying all the local cats. We've got another cat someone else has got that's very elderly and weak and things like that. So I think our cat's been stepping in and taking quite a few beatings. To the point he's got holes in his face and down his side and stuff like that. So anyway, last Wednesday morning she goes out and she sees him about to fight and she tries to break it up. I imagine like it was some kind of pub fight where she's kind of stepped in and gone, oi, let's calm it down. And then our cat, being really, really angry and pissed, as he was at the time, he's had a few, has done the cat equivalent of trying to bottle her.
Right.
And just grabbed hold of her wrist and refused to let go. She's had to pry him off. And blood was spurting everywhere. There's still blood all over the path out the back.
Nice.
Yeah, and because of that, we couldn't record last week. So the pressures of being live it then becomes very hard to rearrange things. So if we have to miss one, and again we go back to one of back end of last year when you had to go to hospital, Steve.
Yeah, sorry about that.
And that was our worst show ever. So we decided after that was okay, we need all three of us.
Yeah.
So if one of us can't make it, then you get this point where we can't go on, so we miss a week, and does that lose us momentum? So that pressure to then try and make it live. It became very difficult when at the end of the day I think all we wanted to do was just enjoy a nice chat with us and other people listening.
Yeah, just talk bollocks. And thing is, I think it's very difficult to... I don't know what people want. I thought I knew what people want, but I just don't know what people want. So it's just difficult. But we tried.
Oh yeah, I mean I know what I want. I mean I love Giant Bomb. I don't hide that fact.
Really?
I don't hide that fact. As I've made clear many times, that's my ultimate goal for Gamestyle, that we can provide that kind of entertaining content, and that is kind of where I want to go with it. But there's already a Giant Bomb there. You've already got the kind of funny guys when they've got Greg Miller and the other guy who no one actually remembers, and they've already got this. So they go onto Patreon and they start up their own site. They've already got those big names because they've worked at IGN and
that's
whatever.
the thing. This is what seems to be the kind of overriding theme about popular podcasts and websites and stuff, is that they've already kind of cut their teeth elsewhere.
Yeah.
Which is a bit shit, but that's nepotism for you. So
yeah, it is. But I mean, I think we can look at people like the Kane and Rince guys, who has become really popular, and have received a lot of media attention the last few weeks. And they've kind of come from I don't want to say a nothing background, but quite an obscure background compared to some of the big American guys. So it is possible if you can carve out that niche. But I think that first few months is just very, very difficult. I'm not a social media guru, as neither of you are, which I think makes it very difficult as a way to promote.
I just don't do it for Gamestyle. It is my job.
Yeah, but it's your job. That's the point. It's like, what do I do for a living? I do social media shit. What do I do in my spare time? I ain't doing that shit. Fuck that.
Pretty much, yeah.
But why isn't Gamestyle succeeding? We need a social media, but no, I understand you don't want to do it in your spare time as well.
This is it. It's like you say, it's a full-time job, but it doesn't pay the bills. So
no, and it's part of me goes, could we go to a Patreon? But it's one of the things we discuss is that is completely soul destroyed. If you go to somewhere like Patreon or Kickstarter and you fail, what's the point? But at the same time, I don't want to have that what's the point thing. I still want to do it because I enjoy doing it. So I'm kind of adverse to going down that route at the moment. But at the same time, he said to give the site what it deserves, it needs either me doing it or someone doing it absolute full time, or a team of people who can put as much effort into it as I do. And I'm not condemning, the effort you guys put in and stuff like, or any of the other writers. But
it's okay. We're leaving. You can say whatever you want, really. We're on our way out anyway. You can't really fire us now.
But it is clear I put in most of the effort to make sure the site runs. Because it's, me along with sort of Adam and Gareth pulled it from the dead after it had been dumped by the old guys and got it back to where it is now, which is a lot further than it's been for many, many years. And maybe I rode that momentum too early and expected too much too early, and maybe this is something we should have started a bit down the line. But you live and learn. As we can tell, even though the life in is a nice niche for us and not something everyone does unless they're doing a one-off, I don't think it is maintainable at the moment. And maybe we should have just gone down that normal podcast route.
I think the real problem at the start was the fact that no one else involved in Gamestyle wants to have a camera pointed at them, because none of them are as good looking as us. which is, a shame for them.
Well, you see, that's the thing I have to deal with on a daily basis, being so astonishingly good-looking and being incredibly witty and not at all obnoxious. It's
It's really funny. If you go back to our earliest podcasts, I was only just put on my depression medication at the time, and I didn't care how I looked. One little bit. I had 2 hairstyles. It was either completely shaved or it had grown. And then obviously over the time as well, I think I put in more effort, and I think this has done a lot for me. I don't want to go too deep and how much it means to me, but this has helped me with my depression along the lines and given me something to focus on that I just really, really love. And I'm taking care in my appearance a bit more. I have actually go to the barbers on a semi-regular basis and get my hair done.
The haircutting place, the haircuttery.
The haircuttery, yes, the Turkish barbers. And so it's helped me grow as a person, and it does mean a lot. And when we first started, I didn't want the camera pointed at me. I didn't. Who wants to see me?
It was your idea.
No, it was my idea, but apart from it, I didn't want that. It was a big step for me to actually make that move. And I was originally going to go down the audio only. But I've grown and overcome a hell of a lot of fears over the past few months. And this has had a massive impact on that. To the point where I'm not scared of being in front of a camera anymore. I'm not scared of talking to people anymore, which is something I was. And it's a shame that not enough people have jumped on board and have not watched us on a regular. It's not the not watching us on a regular basis. It's not interacting with us on Twitter or Facebook or anything like that. And again, I don't know how to, without forcing someone, literally grabbing them, going, "You write a response."
You can't do it. You can't. Like I say, you can't make people care. You can't make people interact. They've got to want to. It's just anyway. And the internet, it's that weird contradiction of being incredibly interactive and incredibly passive at the same time.
Yeah.
And so you just have to hope that you've got enough. I don't know what the word is, to be honest with you, but you've got enough there that people want to be able to kind of have back and forth with you.
We are saying this whilst ignoring people sending Q&As down the side, which is...
Oh, is there Q&As?
I can't see it.
Excellent feedback of we should talk more about Sega and less about Sony. Fuck Sony, fine. I'm happy with that.
Fuck Konami.
And Sony.
And Ubisoft.
We should also not broadcast on a Wednesday night because it's a Champions League, which I agree with emphatically because quite often I've had to check scores whilst we've been talking.
Hang on. I don't give a fuck. I do not care.
We don't care about you.
I don't care. Fuck's given 0.
Also, the ice hockey for me starts on midnight, so this doesn't clash.
But it's not. Alright then, the live thing's fine. Okay, the live thing was an experiment, it didn't really work. It's there to download and listen to any time.
Yeah. What I actually reckon our problem was, and a lot of this is, we're not crap, so no one's giving us a view to being absolutely awful. We're not amazing. We're not amazing personalities, and we're not controversial.
That's my fucking tombstone. That's my eulogy. Decidedly average. Here lies Steve Robinson, born 31st of July 1979, dies hopefully sometime far in the future. Decidedly average.
Actually, that's what I want on mine. I just want my whole eulogy. Someone to stand there and go, Bradley, he wasn't crap. But
It's like if you could put a shrug onto a tombstone. That's what I'd have on my tombstone. Somebody's going.
Whatever.
Right.
The good thing
it'll be like that. You can probably
about Brad's is that if he reviews his own life, you know that it's almost certain at some point he's released on a Vita, so he'll give himself an 8 or a 9 out of 10.
8 or 9 out of 10. Whereas your life will be some kind of 486 running point and click.
It's a solid 2.
What can I say about Andrew's life? I haven't played it yet.
I haven't played it yet. I haven't got a PC that will run DOS, so I have to install DOSBox. and then Kenny's running on Windows 7.
And then I died.
And then he died.
We've got, I mean, I was expecting a whole ton of questions when Andrew said that, but they're all from Alex, who has popped in fairly regularly, actually. So, you know, we do have...
I'm sure all the people are just, you know...
He says, sure, something like Twitch is the future, and I agree with that. There's a lot to that with Twitch. But again, Twitch is such a hostile market where, again, you need to be known. And it's something I do want to explore, but I think that needs to be, if we can make the podcast give us some personality, give us some credence, then we can go to Twitch and try this sort of stuff again.
With things like Twitch and YouTube is that all the popular people are really obnoxious arseholes that I want to punch in the neck.
That is basically my problem with Twitch, is that whenever I watch it I go, oh, you're a cunt. And then I stop watching.
It's the thing. It's the lowest common denominator. It's the popularity thing. It's like you and this is what we tried. We tried to carve a way into something else by trying to be not so much grown up, but we tried to be funny and we tried to be a bit irreverent. And we didn't really have a direction for a long time. And it's just, yeah. I just thought that. I don't know. Like I say, you can't make people care. So.
Also, apparently we should give away free stuff on Twitch.
Well, we could give away free stuff if any of the fucking publishers would let us give the stuff away, but they won't. It's as simple as that. They go, oh, right, we've got these codes. Okay, well, we've got one code and we've got 3 more codes that you've sent us. Can we give them away? No, you have to give them to the people, but they only need one person for review. Sorry. Fucking sorry. It's like...
And I think the only times we do get some where they're happy for us to give them away, they're not the sort that
people want
to give away.
No, it's
we
one
gave
of those
away
things.
one thing, didn't we? Which I
Yeah.
can't remember what it was. It was basically Gex, as far as I remember.
It gave us a nice boost for a little bit. That was that.
It's just one of those things where
Some
you
gecko based.
You can't give stuff away unless you've got publishers giving you stuff. You can't get publishers to give you stuff until you start getting a reader and a listener base. You can't get a listener base until you start building up numbers. You can't build up numbers without giving shit away. It's the worst kind of cycle. And that's just how it is. It's just the nature of the beast. It's bollocks, but it's the nature of the beast.
See, we've had someone mention us on Twitter as well.
I mentioned us on Twitter.
No, not you. I believe... Is that your other half, Andrew?
Lauren, yes.
I thought she lived up north. What's she doing in Bulgaria?
She's on holiday.
Oh,
Why aren't you on holiday, Andrew?
Because he's got this.
I've got this. Why on earth would I go to Bulgaria for a month when I can do 1 hour here?
Why would you go to Bulgaria? I don't even know where Bulgaria is.
Bulgaria's nice. It's got beaches and things. It's really nice.
It's got meters
really
and things. What?
Beaches.
Oh, beaches. Yeah, Skeggy's got a fucking beach. What's your point?
Yeah, but...
It goes for the beach, stays for the parking meters.
Has Britain got anywhere named as brilliantly as the place Sunny Beach? The place's actual name. There is
it's called Sunny Beach. They're not big on imagination in Bulgaria, then. No?
But it's cheap and it's sunny and there's a beach.
it's pretty much...
You can't argue with it as a baby.
It's like the Ron Seal of holiday destinations. It does exactly what it says on tin.
I imagine there's someone who's sat there for like the first 3 or 4 months welcoming people into Sunny Beach and going, hi, welcome to Sunny Beach. It's a shit name. We'll think of something else. Hello, Kyle Bosman. Oh, you like it, do you? Oh, that's good.
Do you know what? That's a great callback to an earlier episode. You've been sitting on that, haven't you?
Confidence in Bulgaria.
So, what I want to know...
Everyone's jumping in now. Yeah, we got.
Really? Oh, there's actually people watching, is there? Fucking hell.
Personally, I enjoyed the episode. You'll be missed. Good job and good luck on your future endeavours, bitches, from John Thompson.
Cheers, Tetchy.
Cheers.
Yes, thank you. Could have told us that before.
No, he told. To be fair, John did tell me. He's been one of our staunchest kind of followers and stuff. He's the guy that gave us the feedback a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So
what I will say, I might as well get it out of the way since we've got double figures of viewers. So it's the most we're going to have tonight.
Ever.
I don't think he's going to be better next week.
whilst Gamestyle Live is dead after tonight, we are relaunching with the GScast, which is going to be audio only for the most part. We may do the odd live one. We're going to bring in a lot more of the writers from Gamestyle. So hopefully a few different personalities.
The ugly ones.
Yeah, the not so handsome ones.
We will look to record and get something up around the similar sort of times we do, to either try and get it up by a Wednesday night or by a Thursday morning as we did with our repeat listening. And we're going to have a bit of a revolving door.
So what you're saying is that the body of GameStar Live isn't even cold yet, and you're already bringing out your new girlfriend to shill to the world.
Well, no, I look at it more
We're not even in the ground yet.
No. See, I look at it more where, GameStyle needs a new heart transplant. It needs a heart transplant. It's going to die. It's got a problem. GameStyle Live has been a bit of a car accident. Face is mangled and everything, and you'd be transplanted. It's been transplanted.
Faces, that was all we had. All we had was our beauty.
That's amazing.
But obviously, I mean, I've opened it up, and obviously, I hope you don't mind me saying, we will have you back on occasions. And
personally, I'm very much looking forward to appearing on the GScast.
The GScast, yeah. Oh my god.
GScast.
I might have to repeat the name. I tell you what, something called the GScast, though, is going to get a hell of a lot of viewers.
That is the plan, yeah. I noticed you told people to get tissues ready for this one, thinking you were doing the GScast.
There is actually going to be a point in the podcast where we go, and masturbate furiously. There we go.
That's what we need. We needed a hook, and now you're coming up with it.
Sorry.
No, we are from the ashes of this. We will be carrying on. Steve, Andrew will come back for guest appearances
I'm
now
sure
and again.
at some point. Because there's, there aren't going to be enough people saying cunt nearly enough. So it's
no, that's what every podcast needs. So there is positives coming from it. This was an experiment. It didn't work out as we had planned, but
helped.
It worked out as we expected, not as we planned.
Yeah, plans and expectations are two entirely different things.
Yeah.
If you've got to 30-something without realising that, then I think you need to have a good long look at your life, Andrew, and reassess.
To be honest, I mean, I would suggest
I've got time. I'm the young one here, remember? I frolic in fields.
Hang on. Sorry, what were you saying, Brad?
I can't remember, so that sounds about
it was irrelevant, just like us. But it's sorry.
No, I mean, I look forward to. I think when we do have an episode where it's us three again, maybe that's one we could do live as a special one-off and stuff like that, so people can see how we use
our faces. Yeah,
I fucking enjoy this.
I do.
I really enjoy this. I like it a lot. I like doing it. I like creating something. That is honest and not scripted, but that's probably why sometimes it falls a bit flat. I mean, there's been weeks when I've thought I was terrible, and there's some weeks where my cheeks have been hurting because I've been smiling and laughing so much. So it's just like you say, it's like one man. You should never make things for yourself. I don't think. So,
what's going to be absolutely brilliant is going to be about 6 weeks down the line. You two have had 6 weeks off. We all get together for one more, and then one of you goes, "Oh, do you know what? I might come back next week." And then I enjoyed that. I'll come back the third week. Then someone else comes back and goes, "Oh, I'll join you for that." And before we know it, we're just doing this again.
No. I've got the plan. We do nothing for 2 years. Then we go on Channel 5 as the big podcast reunion show. And we'll make anything upwards of £17.
Oh, we get that. Who's that annoying West Country guy who does that thing for getting people on reunions? Oh, I can't remember his name. No, not Cilla Black.
That West Country guy, Cilla Black. Yes, that notorious Liverpudlian female West Country guy.
Oh, don't talk about her being a Liverpudlian. They hate her up there. Justin Collins, that's it.
Yeah,
is that still a thing?
No.
No.
I think he just been off face of Earth when he made massively racist remarks or something.
Our fans are interacting again.
Are they?
Will there be E3 coverage? Yeah.
Will there be E3 coverage, says one of them. The other one says, I'd like E3 coverage.
Actually, well, we were kind of trying... I was hoping we could hold out till E3, because E3 is a never-ending source of amazing what the fuck did they just say, oh my god, they've... Because you get the usual, oh look, they've announced Assassin's Creed 12 million, and there's the Need for Speed's being resurrected, thanks EA, with the people that made Rivals, which was shit. Fuck off. But it's... Yeah, I would do something for E3, because E3 is hilarious.
I would. The only problem I possibly got with doing an E3 live stream special is I will get shouted at because it'll be very late at night.
No, I think we should collate the information the next day. Fucking, I ain't staying up. I've said it before. I love bed. I love sleep. I don't function well on very little sleep. And to be honest with you, I'd rather do it afterwards than have Paula want to string me up by my testicles for being a complete arsehole.
And keeping him awake at a stupid o'clock.
Yeah, well, no, my house was made in 1889, so it's fucking soundproof.
Oh, fair enough. We'll all just come up to Steve's and do it live from his bed.
Do it in the fucking top room, man. We'll just we'll get the TV set up. It's like, I remember one year, was it the Xbox One announcement or the PS4 announcement? One of the two, and we were sat on Xbox Live, and I got rat-arsed while watching this PlayStation. This is how rock and roll my fucking life is. I was sat watching a console, an next-gen console release, and I was sat drinking red wine. And then I threatened, and this was in this house, which is soundproof, and I threatened to go and get the next bottle of red wine, whereupon Paula appeared at the doorway and said, no, you fucking don't, and switched everything off and sent me to bed. After I'd thrown my guts up. I remember that much. I don't remember much else. And then I had to cancel the next day. I was supposed to go out with my mum and my nephews, and I had to cancel the next day because I couldn't drive because I was pissed as a fucking fart. So
excellent.
So basically, video games are bad for you, children.
So, gents, we're getting
interaction.
We're getting interaction today, and we've had...
Where have you been?
20% of our listenership tonight. 27% of our listenership tonight.
You're too late. We've killed it. We've fucking put a bolt through its head and took it out back.
They've asked us. I'm going to say this for an E3 special. Day after E3, after I don't know how we'll plan this, but around E3, we do a one-off live stream.
You see what?
I'll have to check if Kyle invites me on his show first.
You see, what
I've got restraining order, I'm not allowed.
What I'd want to do is, I don't think you could do an E3 in an episode. You'd have to do like 3 E3 episodes, because you'd at least have to cover Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo.
What are they? You know, they make the Mario games. What are they called?
Nintendo.
Yeah. Oh, no. I've been enjoying Nintendo today.
They're
going all wrong.
The bastards.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just like...
We're going to talk about video games for a second here. Don't worry,
God.
We'll go back to moaning about Facebook.
Yes, there will be an E3 something.
There'll be an E3 something. Nintendo...
I'd like to point out I'm drinking wine during this one, so drunk E3 will be a lot like this one as far as... For the viewers who aren't viewing.
No.
Yes, I am drinking wine.
You see, I'm not drinking because I stopped drinking because it stopped me from running because I've become a health nut. Great stuff. Anyway, the problem with Nintendo is that they fucking just when they look like they've got a clue and they start getting an idea about what they're supposed to be doing and it's going, you're going, Nintendo, you're dragging yourself in, post 2010. That's fantastic. They're going to do something like, oh look, a Humble Bundle. Yeah, no, it's North America only. What? What do you mean it's North America only? Oh yeah, well it's region locked. Oh, you are kidding me! Really?
And in really small letters as well. Admittedly in a bright orange bar, but really small letters.
They put the orange bar at the top of the screen when I checked it earlier on today, so they must have moved it round.
I didn't see it at all. I was too busy looking at the games because I'm just in default Humble Bundle mode of, oh, there's a new Humble Bundle on. Well, how much is this one going to cost me then?
I evidently just bought it.
I don't own a console.
You see,
I know someone who owns those. That's weird.
while we were talking, the Humble Bundle have just done another comics one. It's got Lock and Key in it, and everybody should read Lock and Key because it's fucking great.
Really?
Yes, Lock and Key's awesome. But yeah, no, and then Game have had one of their trucks stolen with their entire shipment of Splatoon and Squid Amiibos, which is, in one hand, absolutely fucking hilarious, and on the other hand, desperately tragic. It's really sad. It's actually terrible because people have pre-ordered it, and it's their entire shipment. I mean,
oh my god.
what?
So it's just on that comics bundle. Everyone should get it because it's got March Book 1, which I read and I watched the interview with Jon Stewart and John Lewis, who is a black congressman who done the march on Washington, I believe, over a bridge with all the police and stuff like that around the time of Martin Luther King Jr. And apparently this graphic novel is meant to be absolutely outstanding. It's on the pay what you want. Get that comics bundle now.
There we go.
That's our conclusion, really. Just buy comics.
Yeah, basically, comics won't let you down. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen Volume 3. What? Anyway, fucking video games. Video games are great. Woo!
Yeah, the Splatoon thing it was quite funny. You've got to feel sorry for all the people.
I feel terrible for all the people because
individually, but as a mass group, it's quite funny.
Well, I mean, I ordered it from I tried to buy as little from Game as possible, but yeah, sometimes the need must and all that, especially as people keep giving them fucking exclusives. Oh Jesus!
I actually don't know what's gonna happen with that. It'd be interesting to see what the fallout of that is and
well,
who gets what.
they're giving discounts on the other game apparently. But I think
they're
keep
an eye on eBay because there's going to be some copies there.
Now, you see, this is the thing, because how are they going to shift them? The thing is, apparently, it was going from the game's European warehouse to the UK. So if it's gone missing in Europe, you can kiss it goodbye.
Yeah, no.
If it's gone missing in the UK,
soon.
if it's on street corn markets.
Lauren,
could you get me a copy of the special edition of Splatoon
with the
Could you get us a few amiibos as well?
So yeah.
Also, sorry, Mr. Alex Riddler again has put we should invest in HD cameras and mics because we're cheapskates. Buy me one and I will.
Do you know what? If I'd invested in a HD camera and microphones and then we'd stop podcasting, I'd have been very, very pissed off.
I did invest in a HD camera and posh microphone.
But not for this.
Look at the ridiculously expensive microphone. Look at it. Yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice. I knocked it off a cupboard the other day and it fell about 6 feet. Landed on the floor. There's a hole in the floor. Microphone's fine.
No, I would love a decent mic for this, but unfortunately I'm poor.
Yeah, it's expensive business, and if you're not going to do it seriously, you know.
What is that? Maybe I should kickstart for a mic and a green screen.
No, a green screen.
Yeah. So when I do the stuff with the games and stuff like that, I haven't got my wall behind me. I can merge into the game.
Bitches hate walls.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be the best Kickstarter. Look, I need 50 quid to get a mic. Kickstart me. I'd still fail.
Oh, bless you. So yeah, we haven't even done the whole what you've been playing this week, because I've actually been playing something different. I would have been playing something even more different if I could pry the pad out of her hands.
You've been playing something that I've been playing.
Have I?
Yeah.
Have I, or has Paula?
It's on Steam. Does that not narrow it down?
No.
Massive Chalice.
Oh, I kickstarted that, and then I haven't played it since they patched it 12 times.
Have you had that for a while then?
Yeah, I kickstarted it, and I got the code, and I got in the alpha, and I went, "This is all right. I'll wait till they've added a few more patches," and then forgot to go back to it.
It's released now. It's good.
Well, apparently somebody said it's going to be free on Games on Gold next month.
Free on Games on Gold?
Yeah, it's coming out on Xbox One.
Oh! I can't say anything about that yet from the email I've had. I'm not allowed to say anything, so I'm
Well, it's
not.
alright, because it looks like Reddit's already leaked it. It's like the Lego Dimensions thing. I knew about the Lego Dimensions thing, but I couldn't say anything because I'd got somebody in trouble. So
Yeah, I cannot confirm or deny that Massive Chalice will be on Games on Gold next month on Xbox One.
I've literally just said it.
Yeah, but I've had an email specifically to me that I cannot confirm or deny, so...
Yeah, but
Just
by not confirming
reiterating
or
that
denying it, you've confirmed it.
No, I'm not confirming that at all.
Stop watching your ass.
Has my Broken Age review gone online yet?
Yes, it went on today, this morning. Yesterday, last week, tomorrow. Yeah, it's online.
Yeah, Massive Chalice is alright, but I need to put more time into it, but I don't think I ever will. It's like I bought Killing Floor, I've played it for about an hour.
It's on sale now.
Yeah, it's three quid off.
www.gamestyle.com.
What?
I'm now visiting www.gamestyle.com. Check it out.
Why are you visiting Gamestyle.com?
Just to check my review.
Because he wants to read his review of Broken Age, which we invite everyone to do.
Yeah, well, we're going to do after they've watched and actually presented the fucking podcast. That'd be nice.
Yeah, but anyway, that is what I've been playing mostly this week, which is related.
All I got from your review of that was, obviously read it yourselves, guys, was, yeah, it's a bit shit, but bloody hell, it's a good bit of shit. Why? Because I put an obscene amount of money into it.
Is it
It's
like,
a really satisfying shit.
is it really like when you go for a dump and you just get that really satisfying, like it stinks and it's awful, but you kind of get that satisfying feeling that you've emptied your bowels?
Yeah, it's basically that in video game format. That is the first review I've written where I felt genuinely bad whilst writing it because I know what I'm going to say at the end of the review.
See, what I want to...
Yeah, no, it was a big disappointment. I gave it 5 out of 10 for people that can't bother to click on the website.
Do you remember when poor Johnny was called Corrupt?
No,
or whatever it was.
Gareth was called Corrupt, wasn't he?
No, it was Johnny.
Was it? Oh, right, yeah.
I believe, or someone. But it was called Corrupt, even though he hadn't been paid for a review. Andrew reviewed a game that he heavily invested in. Technically, that's corruption on FIFA levels here, but he gave it a bad score.
That is the most Andrew approach to things ever. I've spent $140 on this game.
And also, you didn't review the version that you invested in. You bought it again for your phone.
Yes, I did. Yes.
Is that an actual comment on the review?
What?
Sorry?
Are we on about a comment on the review or something?
No.
No.
Oh, right. Sorry, I thought somebody just took an umbrage. Although saying that, it's not a weeaboo fan-baiting fucking piece of shit, big-eyed, scantily clad JRPG, so we're not going to get any comments on it, so it's fine.
No, the last one we had...
It's a little bit Gamergate taunting. I did kind of pick a little bit of a fight every now and then.
The best thing is, our most recent review for pervy Japanese weirdo stuff was written by a lady, got an average score, no one said anything.
No.
Even if we try and court controversy, we can't.
No, it's it's just one of them things. I don't fucking know.
Probably the fact that the female of the group, the lady of the group, the woman of the group, the least Gamergatey way of describing someone of female
it's not even
origin.
Gamergating, it's just that really,
I think probably the least Gamergate way of describing Natalie is to say Natalie.
Yes. Yeah, Natalie reviewed it, and because she probably gave it a higher score than anyone else has ever done for any of those games, you can imagine someone going, "Oh, woman has reviewed game." Oh.
Do you know what I wouldn't mind about these? We generally tend to be consistent in the crap Japanese review in giving them low scores. If it was reviewed by the same person each time, I could probably understand it. But it's reviewed by different people, so the chances are the games are fucking shit. It's as simple as that. They're just rubbish, and you are wrong. Not you, or even the people that are watching, the people that just come to Metacritic, go to the lowest score. I don't agree with this because some of the high scores are blatantly off their tits. They are so far out of their own fucking head about these games that they're not even in the same galaxy anymore. It's like, you must be reviewing an entirely different game because I'm reviewing this game and it's fucking bollocks.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that their review system is, this game's come out, everyone thinks it's a 3 out of 10, and then they've released a sequel, and it's improved on at least 2 aspects of the other game, so therefore it's a 4 out of 10. And then they keep releasing these games, and they're not functionally worse than any of the previous ones. So it's a 3, it's a 4, it's a 5, it's a 6, it's a 7, it's an 8, it's a 9, it's a 12, it's a 14, it's a 17, it's a 27 out of 10. Buy this now.
It's the thing of yeah, well, the thing is, it's like, that just stands for a lot of games. Like, oh, this game's just not as shit as the last one, therefore it must have a better score. Fucking... Anyway.
That's like my Ollie Ollie review. I really loved the first one and I really enjoyed the second one. But it wasn't any worse than the first one. But because it wasn't any worse and it wasn't any better, I felt I had to drop the score a little bit.
I heard tell that it wasn't any better than the first one, so I assume it's an absolute fucking piece of shite.
I'm glad you're going, Andrew.
No, Ollie Ollie was rubbish. I'm sorry, Ollie Ollie wasn't very good.
Who you two? I loved it. But that's
it
the
was
thing.
on the Vita, shut up.
No, but that's the thing, right? If there is someone who likes the sort of games I like, and they see my review for Ollie Ollie, they're going to give that a go. You know that I like Ollie Ollie, and if I go, this other game similar to Ollie Ollie is really, really good, you're not going to play it because you know you don't agree with me on that. That's what reviews are for. There you go, people.
I know. I understand the principle behind reviews. What I don't understand is people. And
You don't understand the culture around these games. I don't understand people who get off on potentially underage.
I don't get off on people
who are drawn with
buy
big eyes and
full-bodied anime girl pillows and have mouse mats where their boobs are a wrist rest. That I don't fucking understand.
You know, fair play. You're not harming anyone.
Because it doesn't support your wrist. If your wrist's right in the middle of the mouse pad, you're going to be between the two bosoms, which isn't an ideal amount of wrist support.
No.
Whereas actually, what they need the bosoms to be is left and right click.
So basically, you want a mouse that's a pair of boobs. Is that what you're saying?
Why not?
Sure, why not?
I am so certain that exists. It's untrue.
Do you know what? I'm not even going to Google it because I'm pretty sure it does, yes.
Oh, dear.
So basically,
anyway,
what we've done is piss and moan about how people don't watch us, how people don't appreciate us, and how people that comment on our reviews are all fucking idiots. I think we're batting quite a high average, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I hope they've all got their bingo cards.
Yeah.
It's alright, we haven't started on Ubisoft yet, although Ubisoft haven't done anything fucking stupid this week, so that's
Just I tell you what, we'll play this and go, oh, Ubisoft.
It's okay. I can talk about Game of the Year 2014, which I think you'll all remember is Drive Club. I was playing Drive Club last night, going around the track so many times because I just couldn't get it right. And
Just like Evolution Studios.
Literally, the last corner was just constant skid marks all across it because I've been round the fucking lap so many times. Eventually, I managed to set the fastest time. I was well pleased. I took a screenshot of it. I was like, look at this. Here's a screenshot. I've done a fast time. Drive Club didn't save that time. It's a bag of
So,
I
would
was
you
like,
like
that's a shame. I'll do it again. So I set another time, which was slightly slower, but still faster than the time that was on there. Didn't save that either.
Why?
So I tried it just quickly to see if my score was on there, and now it's not doing ghosts either. So in the entire time our podcast has been running, they've still not finished that game.
Would you like to retroactively change your Game of the Year, Andrew?
I'm still playing it, which is something. At least it's a game I am playing and not giving 5 out of 10 to, but it's just... It would just be so nice if it just worked.
Speaking of games that don't work, ODST comes out for Master Chief Collection on Friday.
No, it doesn't.
Why?
It's been cancelled.
What do you mean it's been cancelled?
I believe it's been told it's not being released on the 29th, and fans are angry.
You're actually kidding me.
No, hang on. There you go. Master Chief Collection, Halo ODST, likely to miss May release. 343 still testing. Fans outraged.
Which website?
Gaff. So to be honest, it's on Gaff. It is probably true.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, that's a massive fucking waste of time. Thanks very much, Microsoft and 343. You bunch of shite-up bastards.
Do you know what? There's a reason I prefer indie gaming these days.
Yeah, because
most of the games come out and work.
Horrible. I mean, if it doesn't work, it's like one chap and you're like, oh, that poor chap, he's tried so hard and it doesn't work. Whereas this is, oh, if only Microsoft had got an extra $27 billion, they'd be able to make a game that fucking worked. Bunch of cunts.
But here's the thing, right? There we go. We're going to finish on, not finish because we've got a little bit of time, we're going to have a little bit of a rant. If your games are too wide in scope to actually work, rein it in a bit.
We've got this really good idea where you can do like playlists of levels because that's what people have always wanted from Halo, to be able to do playlists. And it doesn't actually work. We should definitely leave that in. Should definitely leave that in. But we'd spend all our time trying to get that to work rather than fixing the multiplayer that every single human being wanted.
Yeah. But the thing is, you've got, like, say what you like about Activision and the Call of Duty franchise. On the whole, it works. They kind of do, they go, this is what we do. People play it, lots of people play it. We'll not experiment too much. People might not like the new style of the game, but it works.
Well, the thing with Call of Duty is they got a really good developer to make a really good game, Call of Duty 2. And then they said to the people what made Call of Duty 2, make a really, really good game, and we'll release some shit in the meantime, Call of Duty 3. And then they released Call of Duty 4, which was as good as such games can be, basically. And since then, they've just been copying and pasting and just adding extra weapons, basically. They've not done any work at all. They got this really good developer that made it work, and then they're just... Shall we put in jetpacks? I don't know jetpacks. Should we do I can do jetpacks.
Ironically, I've been absolutely caning Advanced Warfare in the last 2 weeks. It's finally clicked with me, and I've figured out other fucking lines of sight, and I've found weapons that I really like. And you know, they added a loot system. Basically, they went, right, what can we do to keep Steve playing? Loot. I know. Let's put random loot drops in, and when you open up, you get a variation of the guns that are in the game. They might as well have just grabbed my arm, pinned me down, and just shot me up with heroin, because that's just it.
Polder has to keep Steve in the house on bin day because he walks down the street, sees beans, and goes, "Loot!"
Yeah, oh god, it's just another chest. Oh, fantastic! No, it's. So yeah, but no, I actually got quite good at Advanced Warfare. So I decided to pony up for the season pass, and now I'm shit all over again because I don't know any of the maps. So yay!
But then you look at like you look at sort of doing this, like you look at Ubisoft, and
it's like Ubisoft with a hand on the face.
Yeah, that should be their logo.
It should be what Picard just going. Oh.
Well, it's a circle, isn't it? So they could do the little it's just like that.
And it's like, oh,
Ubisoft. But the best Assassin's Creed, I believe, over the past few years, was that standalone expansion called Freedom Cry, which reined everything in, was quite a linear story, and was apparently quite enjoyable.
Well, this is the thing. It's. I mean, the gameplay footage release alpha target bollocks that they did for. It's not called Victory anymore, is it?
It's
Syndicate.
Called Syndicate.
That's with its
not at all confusing to
four special editions.
Assassin's Creed
from
Syndicate, The Order 1886 2.
But
I'm just getting bored about the name Syndicate for it. There's a fucking game called Syndicate, and it was really good. And then there was a sequel to it, and it was pretty good. And then there was that weird First person one, it wasn't very good. But why on earth are they calling it Syndicate rather than Victory, which was a really good name?
Because there's a syndicate of them.
I don't care. Victory's a really good name. It's in Victorian England,
Because
and
it's-
we're making a really good Assassin's Creed game, they say. Victory!
Yes, a really good Assassin's Creed game with 1880-something London with lots of hay bales kicking about. And
1880, let's say 5.
So I want to say 6, but
7, 8.
but yeah, it's just,
Assassin's Creed Bow Bells. Is what they should have called it.
I kind of justify Unity in that I bought it from eBay and it was a code that was with the console. They basically split out the code from the console and sold them separate. So Ubisoft have already got the money from somebody, not just me. But Unity was 4 was really good, apart from all the stuff that Ubisoft put in all their games. Like, in fact, no, sorry, it's the opposite way around. The main mission was bollocks. All the side stuff in 4 was amazing. All the side stuff was absolutely fantastic. But Unity is just everything that's wrong with modern Ubisoft games. And I'm not going to say modern gaming because that's not true. It's just modern Ubisoft games. Whereas something like Far Cry does all that shit really well. But you burn yourself out on it. So it's just.
I've never understood Assassin's Creed at all as a franchise or as a concept. Really, it's
people like
because it should be. I'm an assassin. I've got to go and assassinate people, and that's it. That's your assassin's job. There's no other part to an assassin's job. It's just go and kill specific people. There shouldn't be going and finding towers and things like in Far Cry, because Far Cry is just I want to take over the world. Basically.
It's all intrinsically linked with the whole future thing, isn't it? Which is the worst part of the fucking. No, not the. It's the worst conceit of the game. I hate it. I fucking hate it. I hate the fact that you kind of go, oh, well, all this side bullshit is justified by being in the Animus, and you have to do all this stuff to unlock memories, and blah, 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 and it's just bollocks. And it's like, just like you say, put it in a historical setting and make it cool, and just cut away all the fat, because they're so flabby.
Italian Renaissance Hitman. Sounds like an amazing game, and that's all Assassin's Creed is, except you've got running and jumping as well, and people like running and jumping. That's a great game, and then it's just all towers. Towers.
Alton Towers? It's not...
Alton Towers. You see, Assassin's Creed with roller coasters, that'd be fucking amazing.
That would be amazing.
That one. At the rate they're going with games, and the amount of jump they're making forward in the future each time, we are going to soon be on Assassin's Creed. It's sort of 2006. Assassin's Creed, it's 2007, but slightly down the road from Assassin's Creed 2006. It's Assassin's Creed. It's just Google Maps now, but with parkour.
Assassin's Creed Modern Warfare 2.
The thing is, it makes far too much money for them to stop.
Well, but this is the thing. You've got. This is what I mean about scope with a lot of big AAA games now. Is Assassin's Creed is pushing its scope too far to the point it's broken. It's added in things that people don't need so it can show, look, we are improving the thing, and rather than tightening what it does. And you look at something like the Wolfenstein games. They're linear. They're linear games. But boy, are they fun.
Yep. No.
Linear it seems to be, everyone looked at Call of Duty, which is, apart from the multiplayer, is an interactive movie. That's all it is. It's an interactive QuickTime movie. You cannot fail. The game goes, you're going here, you cannot double back, you can't go over. You might be able to wander around to the side a little bit, but it's going to keep you channeled in there. And that was too linear, but for what it was, as just a way to learn a few mechanics for the multiplayer, it's fine. It's like going and watching a Michael Bay film or something like that. But then everyone went, oh, linear's bad, so we've got to go open world. We've got to do it. We've got to give people all these options. And Fallout, if you look at the Fallout games and the Elder Scrolls games, they're buggy pieces of shit, but they're built around having some of that to a degree, and people were okay with it. Try and start doing. I mean, these at the time weren't AAA franchises. They become bigger names now because of the likes of Skyrim and potentially Fallout 4 and stuff like that. but I wouldn't say they was what was called absolute AAA games at the time. So people accept the little foibles. When the AAA games start going, we're going to match that, that's when the problems start. And I think Assassin's Creed is one of the biggest examples of this. Rein it in, make it a bit more linear. Have a few do and stuff like that, but try and get it working. Go for a nice linear-ish experience that works. A few little branches here and there you can go and do, but that's about it. Because that's the thing that's got to change in modern gaming. We've got to realise that we're not at a stage where our systems can handle that kind of thing yet. They obviously clearly can't, and that's why so many people are going to the indie games now, because they are fairly linear experiences.
But the non-linear experiences are still selling millions and millions and millions of copies, so it doesn't fucking matter. And the indie games are on the PS4, but they're on the PC. And no matter what anybody says, the PC will never have as many customers as the consoles do, because PC requires you to not be a fucking idiot. You try and sell Joe fucking Call of Duty a PC from PC World and say, yeah, that'll play Crysis 3, there you go, there's a game from about 4 years ago. Fucking wait. So it's like, unless they make a PC that is absolutely idiot-proof, you're not going to get that kind of traction on PC.
It's called a Mac.
Fucking, it's called a Mac if you want to fork out a fortune for bloody games. But, no, I don't know.
Well, lots of the problem is that these games come out and everyone's like, oh, it's the same thing again, it's the same thing again. And they still get above average scores. I mean, Assassin's Creed Unity was basically a piece of shit when people were reviewing it.
It was broken to fucking shite. It was terrible.
And it still managed to get an average score of 70 because it's got 9s and 8s and 9s and hundreds.
I've said for a long time that scores are massively irrelevant, but people put too much stock in them. Companies pay for them. Websites show themselves out for them. People put stock in them. It's just they're a massive waste of time. And it's the thing where games these days, you can't review them on day one. I mean, look at The Witcher, yeah? Paula's playing The Witcher. I'd be playing The Witcher, but I can't actually get the pad off after a fucking hand. But it's like, it's got 9s out of 10s, and it is an incredible game. It's also fucking broken, because it's another open world game. It does open world better than a lot, and the kind of morality and all the decisions and the story and everything's fantastic, but it's still fucking busted.
See, this is why I've got a lot more stock. And again, I'm going to go back to it's the Giant Bomb thing. They very rarely do reviews anymore. They do the occasional one that's written, but they're less and less of them now. You get most of their opinion through their podcasts and through the Unprofessional Friday videos and stuff like that, where they just talk about the games. They're not reviewing the games. And what's really good is that they talked about The Witcher 3 last week, and they're sitting there and they're talking about it, and they're saying about, well, it is a really, really good game. It's not perfect. There's this is one, this is one, this is one. But depending on how much you're enjoying the game is how much you can forgive by it. Now that's me going, okay, so they've not given that a 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, or they've not given it a 5 out of 10 because it's broken here and there or this. They're basically going, we've enjoyed it and we can forgive the mistakes, which is something I've done with Project Cars. I had to give that a score because we review with scores. But my own personal experience is my favourite racing game I've ever played. But I can't give that a 10 out of 10, and it doesn't deserve a 10 out of 10. But, in my opinion, I love it. There's nothing I would change. I accept there's some little things broken with it. I accept it's missing a little bit of content at the moment because I'm enjoying it. I'm having a great time. But, at the same time, I've got to mark that down. This is why I do see the future is this sort of thing that we do is where we can discuss these games in an open space and just talk about them and let people make their mind up based on what we're saying. And it's one of the reasons that I've introduced the Brad and John's game reviews. Because when I listen to Mayo and Kermode and they do their reviews, they're not sitting there going, this is this film and the director made this shot here because this, and they're not going through a list of bullet points. They're chatting about it. Mark Kermode doesn't then go, I'll give this film a 5 out of 10 at the end. He just goes, it's fucking awful, or I don't like it, but these sort of people, and you get that opinion from it. I trust Mark Kermode. If he says a film's crap, I know I'm probably not going to like it. And I think that's where it is going. And I think there's a lot of stock in what how we do it as well. We have a lot of discussions over things, and if you can then bring that into just games on their own, and you're just talking about the week's releases, or even a couple of weeks ago releases where we've all had time to play it and discuss it, I think that gives a lot more stock. You're always going to get your early adopters who are going to go out day one and buy it, but it's those hanger-ons that you want to start convincing. And they're the ones that the likes of Sega need. Instead of dropping their game to 12 quid after 3 weeks because not everyone's bought it, is realising, let's actually get this in the hands of reviewers on day one. Don't worry about getting early copies out. Get it in the hands of the reviewers and let them discuss this game over the next couple of weeks. Let's see how that builds it. Unfortunately, Sega are now out of the game, so it doesn't really matter. But that is where it's got to go, because you're right, you can't give stock reviews, because your likes of your IGN and things like that are going to stick out a review. They're going to give it a high score based on a patch might come, and we want to keep the publishers happy. We don't need to do that at Gamestyle because we're not affiliated with anyone. We generally tend to review games that we like, hence we have a lot of positive scores. So we have that choice. We're not paid at all. The publishers don't come to us and go, right, we'll give you early access to this game if you do it. I've given bad reviews for the other guys have done, because I don't give bad reviews apparently, to publishers, and they've said, why? I don't agree. I said it's in the review, read it, we're not going to change it, because if you don't want to give us any games, that's fine. The reviewers are there, they're turned around and gone, no, that's fair enough, as long as you explained, we're happy. But for me, I reckon we are looking the next few years that reviews are going to be phased out more and more and more. It needs to start going to discussion, and it's going to be. That's where I think you're going to have the likes of where I think game trailers do it a lot. Giant Bomb do it a lot. You've got the kind of funny guys are starting to do that now as well. You can see the big names are all moving in that direction. The written review still has a place, but it doesn't need to be score based. It's all the discussion, and it's. I think maybe as a low end podcast as we are, I still go back to maybe we started this sort of thing too early. It's maybe something we need to jump on 12 months down the line.
Yeah.
But I enjoy it when we get onto a subject and just go mental at it and just discuss it for most of the show.
For what it's worth, I disagree with pretty much every single one of those words. I think that games have always been treated as a sort of amateurish sort of thing, that it's just, we'll get the lads around, we'll eat some pork scratchings and we'll play a game and we'll talk about it, and that's what a review should be. And that's not what I think a review should be. I think a review should be a proper, I've sat down and I've played it and I've written something that is considered and is an actual critique of it, and that games need that to get better. Because people sat around talking like we do, go, oh, Drive Club, it's good, it's fun because the cars and the sideways and the fast, and I like it because I get to do time attacks, and you like it because you get to do races and it's fun and stuff. But I think there is a need for someone to sit down and write out, this is good because, but in these ways it lets down gaming. These are the things which need to improve. We need to have this, and this be better next time. Otherwise people will lose their jobs. Games will stop being made.
The thing is, that does need to be done, but you're assuming people read the review, and they don't.
I don't think that it matters how many general publics read the review. I think the developers will do.
What?
I think that Tim Schafer will probably read my 5 out of 10 review for Broken Age and
review his life.
I think he'll probably be quite sad about that, and I think he'll probably agree with it as well.
Yeah. The thing is, Broken Age didn't sell 9 million copies like Assassin's Creed did, and the point is, fucking people are just going to buy stuff. It's like I say, it's like Stockholm syndrome. They're just going to keep buying the game. I'm guilty of it. I'm absolutely guilty of it.
People are buying games that people are saying are good. People are saying now, Assassin's Creed Unity weren't that bad. It's, maybe get it in a sale. And then it's just ticking up things without people having a proper this is a solid defense of why this game is bad.
Yeah,
because those things are needed. People need to be able to say
they do. But I think you're putting far too much faith in people.
But I think where you've also missed my point a bit, Andrew, is when I say discussion, the likes of what the Game Trailers and Giant Bomb do, that's part of it. But what I mean is this serious sit-down discussion of a game and its critique. Mayo and Kermode, I still think, are the best example of how to critique a piece of entertainment. They sit down, they do have a bit of banter with certain bits, but then they go and they talk about the film. They don't just go a tick list of this worked, this didn't work, this camera shot at 74 minutes and 22 seconds should have been this, or anything like this. Oh, and if you watch it from this angle, like you get a lot of game reviews. What they do is they seriously sit down, they critique. Mark Kermode will talk about a director's vision, and this actor probably, we don't feel this actor was right for this role. Maybe they could have used this, or the writing here they seem to have skipped it. And they had this really serious discussion about it, and then they talk about who this would be for, who this wouldn't be for. There's no scores to it, but they do have that serious critique. So it's not all about. I don't think these live shows where you have a laughing mate and you're all getting drunk and stuff like that. There's room for that, and I think that's really entertaining. But there's also that room for people who can sit together and critique a game. Now, whether you have half an hour spent on one game and that's it, and then you do another episode or something that's another game, or whether you talk about a couple because they're in the charts, that sort of thing, whatever. But that sort of serious discussion is that I believe is what's got to come into gaming reviews.
The trouble is there's only 2 game reviewers maybe that are good enough to do that.
Yeah.
Mark Kermode is in a massive minority of film reviewers, and even within that, there's a lot of film reviewers that could do his job compared to game reviews. Rock, paper, shotgun's decent sometimes, but most reviews are just terrible.
Most reviews are terrible, and what the problem is, so there is that, you've got to get people who are good at their job, which there aren't many, and the thing is, you've also... It's all well and good saying, well, they say about this about the film. In the time that it takes to play an average game, you can watch a film about 5 times and absorb everything and make a critique on it. It's like The Witcher. It's like, how the fuck are you supposed to review The Witcher 3? It's like you have to. Even if you play 50 hours of it, you've barely scratched it. You've barely done fuck all. Okay. Somebody on Twitter the other day played it for 16 hours and only just got out of the prologue. That's ridiculous.
No, I completely agree with that, but that's why you can't. That game doesn't work with a single written review. That's where you need a series of discussions about it.
But then you've got to get at least 3 people. Say that the magic number. 3 people who've played that game for between 50 and 120 hours to be able to try and crowbar it into a half an hour.
So basically, you need to get people that have spent 450 hours between them. Whereas Mark Kermode's got to watch a film once, make a snap decision, and then sit and think about it for 24 hours, 48 hours, then maybe watch it again.
This is why game reviews are broken. It's one of the many reasons why they're broken. To be honest with you, we've gone off at the deep end and gone into fucking super serious territory, so it's probably a good thing we're committing harry-carry. But it's just one of those things where I don't agree with reviews, I don't agree with scores, I don't agree with... It's just... What people don't realise is that on the internet, you are the minority.
Mm-hmm.
All these people that are in these echo chambers, on the comment threads, on NeoGAF, you are such a minority, it's not even funny. You are not the people that are going out to Game, or Tesco, or fucking Granger, or whatever, and buying the games. Because you order your game from Amazon, or you order it from Simpler Games, or you order it from Shop 2. But you're not the people that are putting the majority of the money in the pockets. And that's the thing, is because, it's like, you look at magazines. I only buy magazines. I only buy Edge, and I don't buy it for the reviews. I buy it for the features because I like to have something to read when I'm having my breakfast. That's why I buy Edge. I don't put any stock in the reviews or anything. But the thing is, you buy magazines like Official Xbox Magazine, and it's like being assaulted by somebody who found a pair of scissors, some old newspapers, and the copy decks, and just threw things onto the page with a fluorescent marker. And people buy this and read this and actually have, make purchases based on stuff like this. And so it's like...
I totally get where you're coming from, and obviously you mentioned the point of trying to find people who have played enough of, we'll use The Witcher 3 as an example again, who have played enough of The Witcher 3 to be able to comment on it properly. Now, that's not us. Although we probably are the types who should do it, because it's those who aren't paid are the ones who will dedicate that time to a single game. These paid guys are the ones who should be doing it. If you're being paid, you've got 12 hours in your day, for example. I'd imagine they're working to do whatever you're doing. You go and play The Witcher 3 for a week, solid, before you comment on it. You're being paid to do that. You can pull 3 people out your team if you're a big site like IGN or Game Trailers or Polygon and so on. You can pull those guys out and go, right, look, guys, I want you 2 or you 3, you're going to go and play The Witcher. I don't care if you sit together and play it in one, or whether you all go and play it separately and then come back and discuss it in a week. You want to do that, you do that. But the problem then comes from these people who don't want to do it. They go, right, okay, we're going to quickly go through The Witcher because we've got to get this score out the door first. We've got to be the first ones to do it.
Yeah.
And that's where the problem comes from. It should be these paid guys should be the ones who are setting the example. It's not. It's people like
the
us.
trouble is, it's never going to be, because it doesn't mathematically make sense. That's always been the problem with video game reviews, is that you can't financially make good video game reviews in the way that... I mean, how much does Mark Kermode get paid? Maybe 150 grand a year?
Well, yeah, I'd imagine he's paid enough to just have a decent life, like.
It can't be too far off that, since they put him on everything.
Yeah.
And he's doing that, which is fine. But in that 150,000 quid that then pays itself back in a kind of BBC-ish kind of way, to get someone who could be as thorough about a game, you're going to be paying them minimum wage. But you're going to need to have like 5 or 6 people every week just to review the games that have come out. But then you've not got enough weeks, so then you need to allocate each person 3 weeks, and then by the time you've got to the point where you've got enough people, even if they're earning minimum wage, you're way beyond what you can feasibly make back from advertising. It's only sites like Gamestyle that can give accurate reviews. That's basically what it boils down to. It can only be amateurs that do it. And the trouble is, with amateurs, is that they're shit. If they were good, they'd be professionals, and if they were professionals, they wouldn't have enough time to do the games.
And
you end up with literally nobody capable of reviewing games.
This is why the YouTuber is becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, because you get guys who will do weeks and weeks, and Twitch streamers as well, YouTubers and Twitch streamers. These are the guys that are now the go-tos for game reviews, I think, because they're not offering up a score, but you're watching these guys play and you're getting their genuine opinion as they're playing it.
People go, I see them playing that game, I like that game. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. But if it's the
fair enough from a buyer's guide point of view, but it's not fair enough from a critique point of view.
Well, like I said, critique's overrated. So.
I think critique's important. I think that the sort of things that Feminist Frequency does is as important for making games better, because which is the same thing. A review should be doing that. A review should be a critique, and it very, very rarely is. I mean, all my reviews are basically think pieces. That's my general aim. I do something stupid with them to make people think about the game from a different angle, which is one way of doing it. But to be able to do that for every game is just impossible.
See, you mentioned Feminist Frequency, and I love that series. I think Anita Sarkeesian is absolutely brilliant at what she does. I think the way she puts herself across is excellent. She can talk about games better than most, I believe. But what she does, and they're doing a critique of individual games, or a rundown of a chart of games or anything like that, is two totally separate things. And I don't think you can put those in the same bracket at all. That critique that you get there is vital to gaming, and it will help. The reaction to Anita Sarkeesian and what started it all is bad, but without it, you wouldn't have had a lot of people stand up and go, "Whoa, the state of gaming as it is at the moment is terrible. We need to distance ourselves from this. We need to make sure that we're going in a direction that doesn't associate us with these types of people." So it's vital that we get that. But there is that. You then got the YouTubers and Twitch streamers where you can sit there, you can watch them and go, okay, yeah, I want to get on board with that. I've seen enough of that. I'm going to get on board with that game. And then this critique area where written reviews still have their place to a degree, but not with scores attached to them. And these discussion pieces, it's all of it in one. It's not a case of one or the other. All of it in one. Total Film and Empire. They exist alongside a Mark Kermode, and he's still really the only one who does that properly. And they still exist alongside these fluff reviews that you used to get on TV. Was it movies, and stuff like that?
Kermode's not the only one who does that properly. I mean, even Film Crit Hulk does a better job about films than pretty much any. And it's an established language, because there are people who do courses in how to critique a film.
Yes.
There's university standard people who've done nothing but learn how to write about films, which games doesn't have at all. That's what games needs. It doesn't need more people saying, "Oh, let's have a chat about it." It needs people who can chat, who are actually educated in games, people who write professionally and use words in the way that words are meant to be used.
I agree. I totally agree with you on that. But it needs to start somewhere to have that process working. And that's the difficulty we're in at the moment, where there's these massive standoffs all over the place over what works, what doesn't. And I think once we can get down that lane and funnel it a bit, go, look, we need to start doing this. These are the people we have at our disposal at the moment. If this starts to work, then maybe we can look at doing this to educate the new people in. We'll get the people, instead of going to be film critics or art critics or literature critics, they want to be game critics, and we can start bringing those people into this field. But it needs to start somewhere. At the moment, why everyone's still going, Assassin's Creed, 8 out of 10 because it'll be okay eventually. That's not going to happen. It needs that mixed with a lot of other things to start that process off. Which, this is all getting a bit too serious for our last episode.
Apparently what happens when I've been drinking is I get really serious. I don't know, I like written reviews. I fucking love written reviews. I mean, that's why I came back to Gamestyle, is because I'd not written anything for ages. And the stuff that I've done for Gamestyle is by far the best writing I've ever done. My Nidhogg review is easily one of my favourite pieces that I've done. And that's like, I was a sort of professional writer for 4 years. I was going around trade shows and I was submitting reviews for I did like 5, 6, 7, 8 reviews a week. Basically every PSP game that came out, I reviewed at some point, because no other games journalist in the land bought a PSP. I was basically Brad, except I fucking hated the PSP. Everyone was like, "Come on, let's write a review, Andrew. Let's get this." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, I'll review Mac Runner." I can't remember what it was called now. It was quite good. It was a plane racing game. And I had to review that twice. I was like, sent an email to the editor of one of the sites and said, "You've sent me this to review, and that's fine. I've got a PSP, but I have just reviewed that for someone else." And they were like, "Could you just say something different about it then? Because we've got no one else that could do it." And yeah, that's why I came back to Gamestyle, because I missed writing stuff about games. And the good thing about Gamestyle is that, as people may have noticed who've read my reviews, I don't totally go from a straight angle about it. Me writing a review is quite a different thing.
The thing is, you're like the Brock Lesnar of games reviews, though, now. Is that you come back, and you're back, and then you write this review, so you made your pay-per-view appearance, and you disappear for a few weeks. You come back for the next big pay-per-view and write something else. It's great.
I like writing reviews. It's something that I spend way too much time on. My way of writing reviews is just a stupid system that just constantly bites me, because I get my opinion of the game and then I'm like, right, let's dance it up in some stupid way.
They're entertaining, though.
Yeah, all right. It's quite nice when they get picked up on. That morning when the entire internet was reading my Dear God review that is definitely the peak of my Gamestyle experience. That I was at work and I was helping sort out the old magazines, and I came back and someone had tweeted to me saying, "Well, that Dear God review's good," and I was like, "No," they said something vague, and I was like, "Did you mean it was good?" I thought that was the only person, but it turned out the entire internet had been reading it whilst I was sorting out magazines, which was quite nice. So yeah, it's worth it when things like that happen, but it's a very difficult way of doing it, which is a lot of the reason why I'm leaving this, because I'm spending so much time on writing things that I need to get money if I'm going to do that. So if anyone wants to hire me, hi. But yeah, that's why I came back to Gamestyle, and that's what I think Gamestyle should be doing, because it's the best review site in the universe.
And breathe, Andrew. Breathe, please. Breathe. You just went on a monologue there. That was brilliant.
The thing about Gamestyle is that it is the only place that can do good reviews. No other site can do it, which is quite nice, really. As a thing, is quite a selling point. But then, if you sell it, it spoils the selling point, which is awkward, really. But yeah, I like Gamestyle. It's good.
That's good to know, Andrew. I was hoping. I was glad to get and sign off with. Do you know what? Fuck Gamestyle. Fuck 'em right in the ear. But I'm going to take that as Andrew's sign-off, because if I give him another chance to sign off, I'm wondering if he might go on another 10-minute monologue.
I fucking love a monologue.
Steve.
What?
As soon as this is your last official show...
Sorry, I just woke up from my coma. What, eh? Sorry?
I know you're usually getting tired about this time as well.
It's past my bedtime, mate.
I know.
No,
After that wine, that's the real tragedy here.
Anything you'd like to say or sign off with before we go?
I wish it had turned out different.
Yeah.
As simple as that.
Yeah, we'll be back for a E3 special.
Yeah. Looking forward to
the fans.
Right. Anyway, now that we've driven all the fans away with our 25 minutes of serious business.
Yeah, good work, everybody.
But anyway, obviously, I've said it to you guys before in private, but obviously going out, just absolutely thank you for everything you guys have done.
I enjoyed it. No, thank you.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Someone read out the most recent Q&A, please, because if I read it...
Where am I going to get my reveal hit now? #ManCrush from Alex Whistler. I never realised that Andrew was the pretty one of the group.
I am.
Steve's the bad boy. I'm
bad
just
boy.
pathetic. You're the bad boy. You're the swearer. I'm the pathetic one.
No, you see, profanity is the language of the ignorant. So.
Oh no, I love a bit of profanity. I still want you to release a book of all your bits. It'd just be great. A book of profanity.
I did actually start. I started with kind of good jotting notes down for a book about you know, how to survive retail. But my memory's horrific, and I forgot most of it. So
Shame. That would have been. Yeah, I remember you saying that a little while back. That you. Yeah, that would have been amazing to read. But yeah, anyway, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. I say it's a shame it hasn't worked out differently at this moment.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot. You know, I know what I want to do next and how we're going to continue this forward. I'm hoping for those that are still watching now or listening next week, I'm hoping to have the GScast or the GScast as it's now been christened.
Sorry.
He's not at all.
That's going to be a revolving door. I'll probably be the permanent of the group for this one, and then it's going to be a revolving door. Hopefully we'll have Steve and Andrew on at points throughout the year. We've got Brad and John's game reviews, which again we hope is going to be something that works well. It's in its infancy, but you can find that on the site. And yeah, for the last time, it's been a pleasure, guys.
It's been good. Thank you very much.
Bye bye.
I enjoyed my rant. Bye.
Bye.